which you are well aware is dedicated to Professor Shamnad Basheer and his goal of making legal education reach marginalized community in every corner of the country. With this particular aim to create unprecedented access to legal education, Project Maverick came up, and there are lots of classes, lots of lessons, lots of mock tests available to you to prepare for law entrance examination, all at almost no cost. This session, ma'am will be discussing again on reading comprehension, which is a topic very important for this year's CLAT and coming CLAT, and perfect tenses to have a combination of grammar too. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Harsh. Hello, everybody. My name is Dhwani Gupta. In today's session, we are going to focus on reading comprehension and perfect tenses. So let's get started. Let's start with the reading comprehension passage. I'll explain the passage to you, then we'll work on the questions. Okay. India is a country of villages. Rural population still dominates the urban population as far as the number is considered. This is despite the fact that there is rampant migration of rural families to urban centers. Generally, the gains of being a unit of the urban population are less than the disadvantages and risks that are inbuilt in the urban life. Crime, riots, etc. are some of the examples of such risk of urban life. The forces that generate conditions conducive to crime and riots are stronger in the urban communities than in rural areas. Urban living is more anonymous living. It often releases the individual from community restraints more common in tradition-oriented societies. So in this passage, the writer is saying that India is a country of villages where rural population exceeds the urban population as far as we are talking about numbers. There is despite the fact being that a lot of rural families migrate to urban areas. So generally, the writer is highlighting one point that the benefits of living in an urban city are way less than the risk and the advantages that are in living in an urban area. So some of the risks, some examples of such risk are crimes, riots, etc. So the forces which lead to crime and riots are majorly in the urban communities as compared to the rural areas. The people living in urban area live the life of anonymity, which means many people do not know about them. Urban living provides freedom from community restraints, which are common in traditional rural societies. Okay, the next part is, but more freedom from constraint and control also provide greater freedom to deviate. And living in the more impersonalized, formally controlled urban society means that regulatory orders of conduct are often directed by distant bureaucrats. The police are strangers executing these prescriptions on an anonymous set of subjects. Minor offenses in small town or village are often handled without resort to official police action. As disputable as such action may seem to be, it results in fewer recorded violations of the law compared to those in the big cities. So the writer is saying that more freedom from constraint also provides greater freedom to deviate. So when we have a lot of freedom, the chances of crime increase. Living in such urban societies, the regulations are imposed by outside officials generally. Police force usually deals with such subjects. Minor offenses in the rural areas are handled without a lot of involvement of the police, and this results in the fewer violation of laws as compared to those in the big cities. Now, although perhaps causing some decision difficulties for the police in small town, formal and objective law enforcement is not always acceptable to the villagers. Urban area with mass population, greater wealth, more commercial establishments, and more products of our technology also provide more frequent opportunities for theft. Victims are impersonalized, property is insured, consumer goods in more abundance are vividly displayed and are more portable. The crime rate increases despite formal moral education given in schools. So basically, the rural people do not like the formal and objective law enforcement by the police. Urban areas where there is a lot of population, greater amount of wealth, more commercial establishments, and more products of technology are basically prone to theft. The person who suffers remain anonymous, and consumer goods and products which are in abundance in the urban areas are often displayed and shown off and are made portable. Despite of a lot of formal education which is being given in the schools, thus it had failed to curb the crime in the urban areas. So this is the passage. Now let's work out the questions. The first question is, which of the following would be the best title for the above passage? कौन सा टाइटल सबसे ज्यादा appropriate रहेगा इस पैसेज के लिए? First, crime and punishment. Second, hazards of urban life. C, lure of village life. D, rural urban life. So let's see what is the first point. Crime and punishment. So yes, we are talking about crime and punishment, but crime and punishment of urban area or rural area, which is not mentioned in the title. So it is not appropriate. Second, hazards of urban life. Yes, this could be the appropriate answer because hazards mean risk, dangers of urban life. So in the entire passage, we can see the writer has highlighted that what are the disadvantages, what are the risks, what are the dangers of living in an urban life. So option B is the correct answer. We'll see the rest options also. Option C is lure of village life. Lure means temptation of living in a village, temptation of village life, which is certainly not the answer. D, rural urban life, no. So basically in this passage, we can see a lot about the risk crime of urban life has been discussed. So even D is not the correct answer. Correct answer is hazards of urban life, option B. The second question is, the passage mainly emphasizes the. किस चीज पे पैसेज ने मेनली एम्फसाइज किया है? A, comparative account of wealth in rural and urban areas. B, increasing crime rate in rural areas. C, need for formal, more moral education to be given in schools. D, reasons for growing crime rate in urban centers as compared to that in rural areas. So let's see what is the first point. Comparative account of wealth in rural and urban areas. Wealth के बारे में certainly बहुत ज़्यादा discuss नहीं किया गया है. So option A is not the answer. B, increasing crime rate in rural areas. Yes, there is an increase. There is a crime in rural areas also, but in the passage, specifically in the passage, we are talking about the increasing crime rate in the urban areas, not in the rural areas. So option B is also not the correct answer. Option C, need for formal moral education to be given in school. No, it is not discussed in the passage. It is because of a lot of moral education being given in schools. Still, we are not able to reduce crime. Option D, reasons for growing crime rate in urban centers as compared to that in rural areas. Yes, option D is the correct answer because in the whole passage, the writer is saying that what are the reasons because of which crime rate is increasing in urban areas as compared that to in rural areas. So option D is the correct answer. The next question is, the author thinks that risk and advantages are what? Risk or advantages kya? A, more than the gains in urban life. B, almost negligible in rural life. C, happy living in rural life. D, none of these. So let's see what is the first option. The author thinks that risk and disadvantages are more Then the gains in urban life. Yes, this is the line which, if you all remember, it is written in the passage. It is written in the starting of the passage that there is a lot of risk and disadvantages as compared to the benefits of living in an urban area. B, almost negligible in rural life. No, it's wrong. Happy living in rural life. No, even this is inappropriate. D, none of these. Wrong. Option A is the correct answer. The next question is, which of the following statement is true in the context of the passage? कौन सा statement true है passage को देखते हुए? A, the moral education in school is the main cause of crime. B, lack of personal contacts increases crime in urban areas. C, urban crimes cannot be prevented. D, police in urban areas settle minor disputes without official action. So option A is the moral education in school is the main cause of crime. This is not true. This is incorrect. Moral education तो इसीलिए की जाती है जिससे कि लोगों में अवेयरनेस बढ़े, क्राइम कम हो. तो इसीलिए ये मेन कॉज ऑफ क्राइम तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. बी, लैक ऑफ पर्सनल कॉन्टैक्ट इंक्रीजेस क्राइम्स इन अर्बन एरियाज. यस, दिस इज द करेक्ट आंसर बिकॉज पीपल डोंट नो ईच अदर. अर्बन एरियाज आर ह्यूज, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, पीपल डोंट नो ईच अदर. सो बिकॉज देयर इज नो पर्सनल contact between people, this is leading to a lot of crime. C, urban crimes cannot be prevented. No, this is not true. They can be prevented. Police in urban areas settle minor disputes without official action. Even this is a wrong point. So option B, lack of personal contacts increases crime in urban areas. This is the correct answer. Question number 5 is, which of the following inferences can be drawn from the contents of the passage? तो कौन से पॉइंट्स आपको लगता है कि पैसेज से सिमिलर हैं which we can relate? A, migration of people from rural areas to urban centers is almost negligible. B, strangers can enforce laws in more impartial manner than known people can. C, wealth has concentrated more in urban centers than in the rural areas. A and B only. B, B and C only. C, A and C only. D, all the three. So the first point is migration of people from rural to urban centers is almost negligible. This is completely wrong because it is written in the first or second line itself that a lot of people migrate from rural to urban areas. So A is wrong. B, strangers can enforce laws in more impartial manner than known people can. Yes, this is a true fact. People who don't know each other are not partial at all. They can decide things, they can take action more impartially and in a better way. C, wealth has concentrated more in urban centers than in rural areas. Yes, in urban areas there are a lot of job opportunities, which major reason being a lot of people migrate from rural to urban areas. So yes, option B, B and C is only. B is the correct answer. Now, the next question is, it can be inferred from the passage that urban crime can be controlled by. So how can we control the crime which is taking place in the urban area? A, greater emphasis on moral education. B, enforcement of law by distant bureaucrats. C, vivid display of expensive consumer goods. D, making expensive consumer goods less portable. So option A is greater emphasis on moral education. See, there is still a lot of moral education given in the school. Still, it failed to control crime. So A is definitely not the way. B, enforcement of law by distant bureaucrats. Yes, they are at present also controlling that, but still it is ineffective. C, vivid display of expensive consumer goods. No, even this is wrong. Making expensive consumer goods less portable. Yes, if the goods will be less portable, will not be that handy, then maybe crime could be less. So option D is the correct answer. The next question is, the author's view of traditional societies is best expressed by which of the following? तो कौन से व्यू में जो ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटीज ऑथर का क्या व्यू है जो कि बेस्ट एक्सप्रेस करता है? ए, दे प्रोवाइड लेस फ्रीडम फॉर द इंडिविजुअल इन मेनी सर्कमस्टांसेस. बी, दे हैव लोअर crime rates because of the moral teachings in school. They provide inadequate freedom for personal movements and travel. They do not have adequate modern technology. E, they are ruled and controlled by distant bureaucrats. So option A is they provide less freedom for the individual in many circumstances. So this is clearly written in the passage also that in the traditional societies, there is a less freedom as compared to the urban areas. So yes, this is a very strong point which is also mentioned by the writer in the passage. So option A is the correct answer. But we'll see the other options also. Option B, they have lower crime rates because of the moral teachings in schools. No, even traditional societies do have crime. So this is not right, a valid point. C, they provide inadequate freedom for personal movement and travel. No, this is wrong. D, they do not have adequate modern technology. No, even this is wrong. They are ruled and controlled by distant bureaucrats. No. Option A is the correct answer. The next question is, according to the passage, the crime in small towns, A, is less frequently reported or dealt with officially, is brought well under control by distant bureaucrats, is often dealt with objective law enforcement, always causes difficulties for the police authorities. So जो crime है small towns में generally क्या होता है, is less frequently reported or dealt with officially. Yes, even this is clearly written in the passage by the writer that people living in small towns do not like a lot of interference of the police, and they solve their crime themselves. So yes, A is less frequently, so the cases are not that frequently reported or dealt, or any official deals them officially. So option A is the correct answer. But we'll see the other options also. B is brought well under control by distant bureaucrats. No, option B is wrong. C is often dealt with objective law enforcement. No, even this is wrong. D, always causes difficulties for the police authorities. No, even this is invalid. Option A is the correct answer. The next question is, which of the following statements is not true in the context of the passage? So which of this statement is wrong? Moral education imparted in schools is ineffective in checking crime rate. There is less freedom in the current society than in the traditional society. Urban areas are thickly populated and commercialized. Urban areas provide more opportunities for crime than rural areas do. So let's see what is the first point saying. A, moral education imparted in school is ineffective in checking crime rate. Yes, this is absolutely true, because despite being providing so much education, still there is a lot of crime in urban areas. So option A is right. So this cannot be the correct answer. There is less freedom in the current society than in the traditional society. Yes, option B is the correct answer, because this is completely wrong. In the current society, we have a lot of freedom, and because of this freedom only, there is a lot of crime. So option B is the correct answer. C, urban areas are thickly populated and commercialized. This is a true fact. D, urban areas provide more opportunities for crime than rural areas do. Yes, even this is also correct. So option B is the only statement which is not true in context of the passage. So this was the comprehension passage. Now let's proceed to perfect tenses. In our last class, we have done continuous tenses. So today we are going to do perfect tenses, so that अगर comprehension में से कोई भी एक ऐसी line आए in which you have to write a correct tense, you should know कि कौन से tenses में किस तरह के words कैसे देखते हैं कि कौन सा tense कहाँ पे आना चाहिए. So let's get started. Let's first read about present perfect tense. Present perfect tense is used to show an action that has taken place once or many times before. It is used to talk about experience and changes that have taken place. Basically, present perfect tense उन actions के लिए use किया जाता है जो कि पहले एक बार या कई बार already हो चुके हों. और generally हम अपने कोई भी we are talking about our experiences or changes in life, then generally we use present perfect tense. For example, Mark has studied 2 foreign languages. Mark ने 2 foreign languages पढ़ी हैं. So this is something which has already taken place. So we are using present perfect tense. Now, how do we form present perfect tense? Positive sentences कैसे बनते हैं? Subject plus has, has or have depends plus past participle. Negative sentences, subject plus have not or has not plus past participle. Questions, has, have first plus subject plus past participle. Now we'll see some sentence examples so that we can understand nicely. Positive sentence, I have tried sushi. मैं sushi try करी हुई है. Sentence, negative sentence, I have not tried sushi. Question, have you tried sushi? Next. Now we'll see, which is very important, that where do we use present perfect tense? Generally कौन से जगहों पे हम use करते हैं? The present perfect tense is used recent events. Basically, जब आप किसी एक recent event की बात कर रहे हो जो कि just अभी हाल ही में हुआ है, for that we always use present perfect tense to indicate completed activities in the immediate past with just. Generally जब just भी हो, example, he has just gone out. So this is something which has happened right now. अभी एकदम हुआ है, immediate past में हुआ है, अभी अभी वो बाहर गया है. It has just struck 10. अभी ही 10 बजे हैं. तो एकदम अभी हो चुका है. जो चीज recent में हुई है, for that we use present perfect tense. Next is used to life experience. To express past actions whose time is not given and not definite. Basically, उन past actions के लिए हम use करते हैं present perfect tense जिनका एक definite time या नहीं दिया होता. जैसे कि have you ever read Gulliver's Travel? So this is just an experience in your life that have you read that book? तो क्या आपने वो book पढ़ी है जिसमें अभी कोई specific time नहीं दिया गया है? Mr. Harry has been to Japan. तो Mr. Harry कुछ जा चुके हैं जापान, कब गए हैं, कितने टाइम के लिए गए हैं. दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच इज एन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ मिस्टर हरीज लाइफ. So in such type of sentences we use present perfect tense. The next is present result. To describe the past events when we think more of their effect in present. तो जब हम ऐसे past events के बारे में बात करते हैं जिनका effect हमारे present में हो रहा है, then also we use present perfect tense. Example, Gopi has eaten all the biscuits, that is nothing is left for you. गोपी ने सारे बिस्किट्स खा लिए, इस वजह से अब तुम्हारे लिए कुछ नहीं बचा. तो so Gopi's action is affecting something in present. I have finished my work, that is I am free now. मेरा काम खत्म हो गया, इसीलिए अब मैं बिल्कुल free हूँ. Now the next is use 4. How long? To denote an action beginning at some time in the past and continuing up to the present moment. Basically, कोई action जो कि past में शुरू हुआ था लेकिन अभी भी present moment में भी वो अभी भी चला जा रहा है. Example, I have known him for a long time. मैं उसे काफी टाइम से जानता हूँ, पहले से जानता था और अभी भी I know him. He has been ill since last week. लास्ट वीक से वो बीमार है और अभी भी ही इज इल. वी हैव लिव्ड हियर फॉर 10 years. हम यहाँ पे 10 साल से रह रहे हैं और अभी भी we are still living here. So in these type of sentences also we use present perfect tense. Now let's proceed to the next topic, which is the past perfect tense. The past perfect describes an action completed before a certain moment in the past. जो कि पहले पास्ट में हो चुका है, उन सेंटेंसेस के लिए we use past perfect tense. Example, I met him in New Delhi in 1996. I had seen him last 5 years ago. मैं उसे न्यू दिल्ली में 1996 में मिली थी. 5 साल पहले मैंने उसे देखा था. Last, I had seen him last 5 years ago. तो ये एक ऐसी एक्टिविटी है जो कि पास्ट में खत्म हो चुकी है. Now let's see what is the formation of past perfect tense. Positive sentence, subject plus had plus past participle. Negative sentence, subject plus had not plus past participle. Question, had plus subject plus past participle. Had चाहे I हो, we हो, you हो, they हो, he, she, it, anything we use had for past perfect tense. Examples: positive sentence, she had finished the test. Negative sentence, she had not finished the test. Question: had she finished the test? Now let's see what are the uses of past perfect tense. If two actions happened in the past, it is necessary to show which action happened first. The past perfect is mainly used in such tenses. The simple past is used in one clause and past perfect in another. So this is a very important point. जब दो actions simultaneously हो रहे हैं, तो it's necessary, it's very important to show कि कौन सा action पहले हुआ है. तो इन इस तरह के sentences में जो एक clause होता है आपका, जिसमें एक activity हो रही होती है, एक action होता है, वो एक simple past में होता है और दूसरा action वो होता है past perfect में. Let's see with an example. I had done my exercise when Harry came to see me. So I had done my exercise. So this activity मैं अपनी exercise कर चुकी थी जब Harry मुझसे मिलने आया. So I had done my exercise in past perfect tense, whereas the next activity came to see me, it is in simple past tense. So this is very important in case you get a sentence in the comprehension in which you have to correct the tense. So it is very important to keep this rule in mind. The next is unreal things in past. It talks about things which we would like to be different in the present. Basically ये point में it means that basically जब आप चाहते हो कि कोई चीज़ past में ऐसी हो चुकी है कि you wish that you could have changed that, तो उसे बोलते हैं, ऐसे cases में we use past perfect tense. I wish I hadn't gone to bed so late. I wish मैं इतनी late सोने नहीं गई थी. I wish I hadn't cheated in the exam. So this is something you wished which had already happened. You wish that maybe you could change it. Okay. Now use 3 is how long to a point in past. Past में कोई चीज़ कितनी हुई है. It is used to say how long something lasts until a point in past. Basically past perfect उन sentences के लिए भी use होता है जो कि बताते हैं कि past में कोई चीज़ कितने टाइम तक चली थी. Example, when he graduated, he had been in London for 6 years. जब उसकी graduation हुई तब वो basically 6 years के लिए वो लंदन में रहा. So this is telling the duration कि how long in the past. So for 6 years he had been in London. When they divorced, they had been married for 5 years. जब उनका divorce हुआ तो वो लोग 5 साल से उनकी शादी को 5 साल हो गए थे. Okay. Now let's see some sentence examples. After Sophie had finished her work, she went to lunch. जैसी Sophie का काम खत्म हुआ, वो lunch पे चली गई. So in this we can see that there are two actions going on. One action is in past perfect tense and one is in simple past. After she had moved out, I found her notes. जैसी वो बाहर गई, मैंने उसके notes ढूंढ लिए. So one is in past perfect, other is in simple past. Before I knew it, she had run out of the door. मेरे जानने से पहले ही वो वहां से भाग चुकी थी. I didn't say anything until she had finished talking. So these were some sentence examples. Now the next topic is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense indicates that an action will be completed at some point of time in future. फ्यूचर परफेक्ट टेंस बेसिकली उन एक्शंस के लिए यूज होता है जो कि फ्यूचर में किसी टाइम पे कंप्लीट होने वाले हैं या होंगे. एग्जाम्पल, हाउ लॉन्ग विल यू हैव लिव्ड इन दिस सिटी नेक्स्ट ईयर. मतलब नेक्स्ट ईयर आपको इस सिटी में रहते हुए कितना टाइम हो जाएगा. तो दिस वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एन एक्शन जो कि पता चलेगा कि फ्यूचर में कभी कंप्लीट होगा. नाउ लेट्स सी अबाउट द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ फ्यूचर परफेक्ट टेंस. पॉजिटिव सेंटेंस, सब्जेक्ट प्लस विल plus have plus past participle. Negative sentence, subject plus will plus not have plus past participle. Question, will plus subject plus have plus past participle. Sentences. Positive sentence, he will have done it by this evening. Negative sentence, he will have not done it by this evening. Question, will he have done it by this evening? Now, use of future perfect tense. This is now again a very important thing we should know कि future perfect tense generally कब use होता है. If two actions take place in the future, The first one is future perfect tense, and the second one is the simple present tense. Future perfect tense is usually used in these type of sentences. Basically, अगर दो actions एक साथ हो रहे हैं and when the sentence is of future perfect tense, तो जो पहला sentence होगा, जो पहला action होगा, वो future perfect tense में होगा, और जो second action होगा, वो आपका हमेशा simple present tense में होगा. जैसे कि past perfect tense में एक action past perfect में होता है और एक simple past में होता है, वैसे ही future perfect tense में एक एक्शन फ्यूचर परफेक्ट टेंस में होता है और दूसरा एक्शन सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस में होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ही विल हैव लेफ्ट बिफोर यू गो टू सी हिम. वो तब तक जा चुका होगा जब तुम उसे देखने आओगी. नेक्स्ट, यूज टू हाउ लॉन्ग टू अ पॉइंट इन फ्यूचर. कितना टाइम फ्यूचर में कोई चीज हुई. When we got married, I will have known Robert for four years. जब हमारी शादी हुई तब मैं रॉबर्ट को 4 साल से जानती थी. Now let's see some sentence examples. Robert will have read various kinds of books. Robert ने बहुत तरह की books पढ़ी होंगी. They will have played football in that field before you reach. वो लोग फुटबॉल खेल चुके होंगे जब तुम आओगे. Bob will have gone to the library before he comes to the class. वो ऑलरेडी जा चुका होगा लाइब्रेरी में जब वो आएगा क्लास में. I will have attended the program before I come here. मेरा प्रोग्राम हो चुका होगा मेरे आने से पहले. Now let's revise once again what are perfect tenses, because it becomes confusing at times. So present perfect basically has या have आता है, depends, plus past participle. I hope everybody knows this is the third form of verb. Past perfect, had plus past participle. Future perfect, will plus have plus past participle. So in perfect tenses, it is a rule that we always use the third form of the verb, which is the past participle. So thank you everybody. That's all for today. I'll be back with other session in which we'll be discussing about perfect continuous tenses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.